How does a single, perfectly legal wire in Chicago expose a $190 million heroin and money laundering network spanning 3 continents? Not through a tip, not through a confession, but through 2 systems most people have never heard of, DIVS and NGI, and one question no criminal ever plans for. Why did this money move like it was running from something? Tonight, we break down how integrated criminal, financial, and biometric intelligence turned one routine transaction into a map of front companies, frozen assets, and an arrest that collapsed a trafficking pipeline at its core. Stay with us, because the moment that breaks this case isn't where the money moves. It's where a human fingerprint refuses to disappear. At 2:14 a.m., a wire that passed every checklist still tripped a silent alarm. The amount was clean. The memo line made sense. The sender and receiver had spotless compliance profiles. By noon, branch staff would have cleared it. The only reason they didn't? A federal system noticed the transfer moved during a dead zone window, then accelerated into 2 foreign hops faster than the settlement curve for that corridor. No accusation, no alert. Just one question: why now? And why this fast? That question lives inside DIVS, the FBI's integrated investigative environment. DIVS doesn't look for crimes, it looks for context. It pulls suspicious activity reports from banks, FBI case files, DHS, and state travel data, and partner agency tips into a single screen. So analysts don't wait on emails or liaison calls, they query patterns in real time. Agents matched the wire's timestamp to airline manifests, overlaid it with past trade-based laundering advisories, and aligned it with seizures that never made public bulletins. Nothing illegal surfaced, but something didn't belong. On paper, everything was pristine. The sender had a registered business, a leased office, utilities, tax ID, and verified vendors. The receiver had import licenses, warehouse signage, clean audits, no compliance hits, passports matched filings, auditors signed off. Nothing screamed fraud. But DIVS wasn't staring at the dollar amount. It compared timing, velocity, and handoff behavior, how the money left one bank, paused, then jumped again just under reporting thresholds. Think of a train where one car always lags 2 minutes behind, across 3 countries. Alone, it's nothing. In sequence, it marks the transfer point. Then, the layers stacked. Transfers broke into bands $400 to $900 under reporting triggers, cycling every 6 days. Invoice language rotated on a 90-day clock. Auto parts became drivetrain kits, then packaging materials, each phrase echoing language from older cases. Shipments routed to a bonded warehouse showed inbound scans, but no unloading logs. The real break came when DIVS linked the payment to an import supposedly clearing Mexico that never passed inspection, its file frozen at deferred. 2 weeks later, the same consignee ID appeared in Dubai. Different goods, different currency, same warehouse barcode, same dead zone timing. At that point, the question answered itself. DIVS elevated the wire from anomaly to key node, and that's when the case stopped being about money. If DIVS built the map, NGI identified who was drawing it. NGI doesn't just store mugshots. It fuses fingerprints, facial recognition, visa photos, and historical border encounters. On paper, the financier was invisible. Proxy directors, shelf companies, rotating passports, predictable travel patterns. Every piece looked clean, because each one stood alone. The break came from years earlier. A routine customs inspection pulled a partial thumbprint from a shipping brace. It went into a local database and slept. NGI later ingested it. A low-light security camera in a Chicago loading bay captured a face watching a pallet transfer. The angle was bad, but ear shape, temple ridge, and a faint cheek scar aligned the face to the print with a match score high enough for human review. The examiner confirmed it. The man in the warehouse was not the shell director. He was the financier. From there, the strategy changed. OFAC's keynote doctrine took over. You don't need every mule if you cut the person who moves capital between them. Hybrid squads mapped the enterprise to Illinois importers running mid-value shipments under compliance comfort zones. Invoice factories in Karachi syncing keyword cycles. Escrow custodians in the Gulf releasing funds on coded email language. A Mexican logistics shell that ensured cargo it never touched. The network breathed through one point. So that's where they closed the valve. A vendor flipped under counsel and agreed to real-time breach reporting. The moment a new routing instruction arrived, banks received coordinated legal process. Wire corridors were flagged. OFAC issued provisional designations. Asset paths locked in place. Money stalled. Shipments missed margin windows. The pipeline collapsed. This case didn't break because someone panicked. It broke because patterns don't forget, and biometrics don't lie. A single wire asked the wrong question at the wrong time, and the system finally had the speed to answer it. DIVS found the river. NGI named the hand guiding it. And once the key node fell, $190 million worth of crime stopped moving overnight. That's the future of enforcement. Not louder raids, but quieter systems that notice what criminals assume no one is watching. And the next time a wire moves at 2:14 a.m. for no good reason, it won't just pass.